How's it going, everyone? Bizkit Rebellion, and welcome to my 8th Q&A. So let's get started. Also, thank you for sending in your questions, and I am glad to provide answers for them. But anyway, first question, it's from PSN. It's actually the only PSN question that I have, or this person sent to me, and that is, what are the tropes that you hate in storytelling? By tropes, it's actually hard to define tropes. If I were you guys, for those of you that do not know what a trope is, I'm going to send you a link to a website called tvtropes.org. It is basically a website dedicated to tropes seen on television, on any source of media to be exact. And they have the definition of trope right there in the home page. So basically you just have to click there and it'll show it right there. The reason why I'm sending you to that website is because I personally don't know how to explain the word trope. I really don't know. I know what it is, but it's so hard to explain. So I prefer you guys to go there instead of just have you guys listen to me and probably be confused on what the hell am I saying. But anyway, what are the tropes that I hate in storytelling? Right now I can only think of 3 because I feel like these 3 are kind of big issues for me. The first one is running the Asylum. This one, I'm going to provide the link in the description to see the full definition of it and all the examples that represent running the Asylum. But basically, running the Asylum is when a certain franchise... How do I say this? When a certain franchise has been around for a certain period of time, but I mean, like, not even a certain, like a long, long time, that it gets to the point where it is only continued because of the fan base. For example, there's this quote by Neil Goldman. He said it quite perfectly, and it's revolving around the Batman franchise. He said, you can say that any Batman fan writing, or any Batman fan that is writing a Batman comic is technically writing fan fiction. Basically what he's saying is, at this point, everything Batman related is basically fan fiction. And he's right. When a story or when a character has been through so much, it gets to a point where it's basically just fan fiction. And I've told this, or at least a friend of mine told me this, and now I've been telling this to a lot of people, that comics, mostly DC and Marvel, nowadays are basically fan fictions. Publicized for the enjoyment of other people, and it's making a profit. So in a way, it's basically just a profitable fan fiction. The reason why I hate this trope is because it takes away the idea of originality. It takes away the idea of wanting to do it for the purpose of the story. Instead of just, for example, if I am going to be the next writer of Superman, obviously I'm going to make it into the way I want it to be. And if that was the case, it's basically fan fiction. Instead of me continuing the story, instead of me just doing it for the sake of the story, I'm personally putting stuff that I like into Superman's story, or the ones that I see fit. I wouldn't say see fit, but basically the stuff that I want into my Superman story because I want to. And it's basically just fan fiction. Not to mention I'm a fan of Superman, so obviously anything I write at that point, it's basically fan fiction. I wasn't the one that created Superman, I'm just continuing his story. So in a way, it's just fan fiction. Anyway, that's kind of the reason why I kind of hate running the Asylum. Another trope that I hate, this one is actually from the romance side. I actually forgot, holy shit. Wow. Oh! Why is cheating involved in romance? Not... Okay, that sounds a little bit too general. Why is cheating a necessity for romance? Now, let me put the emphasis on the word necessity. Meaning, why is it necessary? A lot of people said it's to cause drama. I totally get that. But why is it necessary? Why does it even have to be cheating? Why can't it just be something else? There's so many forms to put drama within an already established couple in a story, but you just had to go for cheating. Why? Just why? It blows my mind when I see cheating a lot in storytelling. Now, granted, it doesn't happen all the time, but let's be honest, 7 out of 10 romance books always resort into a cheating plot. For example, if there's like a romance series, there's gonna be cheating involved at least one time. That's the thing I don't understand. Why? Why does it have to have cheating? Does it have to have an affair? Why is it so necessary? When I asked that question, somebody said it was necessary, and I asked him why. Why was it necessary? And he couldn't answer. So if that is starting to become a trope, then I hate that trope. I personally do. I really hate it, especially when I see it in comics. And it's funny because eventually I'm going to see it anyway in comics because, let's be honest, DC and Marvel, which is probably the most comics that I read, are going to have that. Because their stories and, let's say, their characters are going to last a very long time. Their characters are the reason why they're still going. So obviously they're going to keep the story going no matter what. And if they have to cheat for the sake, or at least if they have to have characters cheat on each other for the sake of entertainment, they're going to do it. But the thing is, I guess is because it's my personal hatred over cheating. I'm sorry. I really don't want to get into a rant right now. But basically, that's a trope that I hate. Another trope, and this is the last one. This one I really hate when I see it in storytelling. I really hate this one. It's another romance trope. And it's basically, think of a story that focuses on a group. Let's say more than 4. No, actually, yeah, more than 4, 5, 6, 7 maybe, I don't know. But basically a story that focuses on a group. Now here we have a leader. Most of the time it's male. But let's focus on the male leader. And in the group we have a male, or 3 males and 2 females. Or it could be 3 females. Why? And I really want to put the emphasis on why does the leader have to have a fling with every single female of the group at least one time? Why? Just why? And this hatred started back when I read the new Teen Titans. Yep. And you're probably already going to guess what I'm going to say. But I have no personal hatred for people who like this couple. I really don't. I'm just kind of explaining why I don't like this trope, because it actually happened in, you know, the new Teen Titans. And that is, the couple that I'm going to mention is Robin and Raven. I don't like the idea that he's going out with Starfire, but then he's going out with Raven. I don't get that. So basically the leader has every single girl. He has a fling with every single girl. Why? Just why? And I asked those questions to people who actually like that, and you know what they tell me? They tell me that I'm closed-minded. But this is what you don't understand. For those of you that say that, you're basically restricting all the females to just one guy. You're basically making it into a harem, an unnecessary harem. And it begs the question, just why? That's my question. Why? Why is that so necessary? And it's funny because I love Mass Effect, you know, the video game series, and that is a shining example of that trope, because basically you're playing as Commander Shepard, and you have the option to romance people. And this is what happens. Once you romance with somebody, you have the option to dump her and go out with somebody else in the crew. Because you kind of like, those are the only people who you mostly interact. It's basically your crewmates. So it's kind of understandable. At the same time, it's an RPG, so it's even more understandable. Because BioWare has this term that it's your story, right? So I can understand why would you romance with multiple people. If that's the way how your story wants to be, then go ahead. But the thing is, if you're just only reading, you have no control of the story. Why is that seriously necessary? I mean, I'm writing a story right now that focuses on a group, and I'm not going to have that. I really don't, because I feel like, I don't know, it's too simple-minded, and it's just so unnecessary. I've been seeing that a lot, that's why I hate it so much. But basically, I just want to explain what it is, why I hate it, and where my first hatred originated. So I guess you can say that that's one of the biggest reasons why I don't like Robin and Raven together, because of that. It supports that mentality. I really don't like that. But anyway, I hope that answers your question. I already wasted 10 minutes on it, but you did say what trope, so it's obviously more than one answer I'm gonna say. Or more than one trope I'm gonna say, so yeah. Anyway, next question is from YouTube this time. What walkthroughs are you planning on playing this year? I want to finish Bioshock 2 or Bioshock 1 so I can do Bioshock Infinite. I want to finish Mass Effect 1 just so I can get into Mass Effect 2. I'm gonna bring Dragon Age, but once I have all the DLC, I want to at least finish Dragon Age 1 and 2 before Part 3 comes out, because I know I'm going to be heavily focused on that one, and I just want to, you know, catch up and stuff. I want to do Infamous, The Second Son. I want to do Killzone. But, I don't know, I'm a little hesitant on that, so, yeah, I don't know. I want to finish Catherine. I want to do the Kingdom Hearts series. I really want to do that one. And I also want to go back into God of War, even though the first game stressed the hell out of me, especially towards the end. I still want to go back and play God of War, so those are what I'm planning on doing this year. I can't guarantee I'm going to put those this year, but I am planning, so yeah. What tier armor do you have for DCUO? I would say 3.5, or maybe close to 4. I know I have the... hold on, sorry. My speech impediment is striking me now. I know I have a few armors that are tier 2, but I guess you can say it's mostly tier 3 or 3.5. I'm not sure 100%, but yeah, it's mostly 3.5. Next question is, where do you work and how do you like your job? I work at Walgreens. How do I like it? It's fairly good. For those of you that do not know what Walgreens is, think of Rite Aid or CVS Pharmacy. If you don't know what those are, then obviously I'm gonna just say think of a pharmacy. But except this one is a pharmacy combined with a supermarket. Just think of that, and there we have Walgreens, or at least the Walgreens where I work at. It's fairly good. The pay is meh, but I'm still managing. The only reason that I got the job in the first place because I wanted money just so I can buy my own shit, especially since I want to collect, or I want to start my New 52 comic book collection, and obviously I need money for that, so yeah. What made you decide to start YouTube? Wait, what made you decide to start YouTube? Yeah. What made me decide to start YouTube? I think I answered this. I'm not sure, but I'll still answer it anyway. Ever since I watched certain walkthroughs from other people, made me want to do it. I'm not even kidding. And it's funny because when I first started, I just did commentary. But when I started doing walkthroughs, it started becoming more fun, enjoyable, and I think of it as a stress reliever. I really do. So I guess you can say that the walkthroughs really got me to want to do YouTube. And the commentaries as well, because I have seen commentaries before I started YouTube, so yeah, I guess you can say those two. But mainly I wanted to do YouTube just for a hobby, you know, I'm bored, don't have nothing to do. Might as well do some random shit, right? Start YouTube, hey! Buy a PVR, hey! Record, hey! You know, all that other stuff. What made you play DCUO? Because it's DC. What more can I say? I'm serious. It's because it's DC. I didn't see no gameplay. In fact, the only thing I've seen from a trailer from that game is the cinematic one. And that made me want to play the game like hell. Even though I knew that wasn't the gameplay, I still really wanted to play it because you gotta admit, that cinematic trailer is fucking sexy. Shit. But anyway, hope that answers your question. Or questions. Next question. What superhero movie are you mostly excited for and why? I'd say it's between Guardians of the Galaxy and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. When I first saw enemies unite for The Amazing Spider-Man 2, freaking amazing. When I first saw the 20 seconds of Guardians of the Galaxy, freaking amazing. Even though it was only 20 seconds. And they also had an extended trailer. I watched that one too. I actually posted those two in my YouTube, so yeah. I guess I'm mostly excited for Guardians of the Galaxy. You know how long I've been waiting for Rocket Raccoon to appear on the fucking big screen? And now I get the chance? My god, I'm not wasting that. No, once that movie comes out, I'm running to the movie theater. But yeah, that's pretty much why, because actually, I like everybody from Guardians of the Galaxy. I was actually super amazed that this movie still hadn't gotten a movie. So you can pretty much say that I was excited when I first saw it, or first heard about that, oh, they're making a movie, holy shit. But anyway, hope that answers your question. Which superhero movie are you embarrassed to see come to the big screen, and why? Facepalm. It has to be Man of Steel, Fight or Flight. This movie is basically Batman vs. Superman, except Batman vs. Superman is no longer the name of the movie anymore. It's actually Man of Steel. Man of Steel, I'm not sure if they're going to put the number 2 on it, but it's Man of Steel, Fight or Flight. Out of every movie that I have ever seen, this is the only one where the title doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. Every single movie that I've made, or that I've seen, sorry, not made. Oof, what the hell, I didn't make any movies. But anyway, every single movie that I've seen has a title that has a significance for the movie itself. For example, Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. What was it about? The Black Pearl and the curse of it. Dead Man's Chest. It was about Davy Jones' chest. The Dead Man's Chest. That's what the way they called it. At World's End. It was basically the end of the pirate era. Or at least it was about to be. Before they rebelled and they won, you know, blah blah blah. I'm not gonna go into it. But yeah, basically it was almost the end of the pirate era. I'm trying to think of another movie. The Da Vinci Code. What was it about? The Da Vinci Code. Right? Man of Steel, Fight or Flight, is basically telling me when Superman is about to fight, he either has 2 choices. Fight or run away. That's basically what you're telling me. And for a movie that supposedly is going to have Batman, is going to have Wonder Woman, is going to have Cyborg, is going to have Aquaman, is going to have... trying to think of another one. It's going to have Green Lantern. It's going to basically have a bunch of people for no apparent reason. Why would you name it Man of Steel Fight or Flight? Fight or Flight. That's the only thing I don't like about the title. You can even say, you could have just called it Man of Steel 2. I would have been fine. But no. Fight or Flight. Fight or Flight. Are you serious? Oh my god. You know what? I don't even want to go on a rant. But anyway, I basically explained why. So yeah, that's probably going to be an embarrassment for me. I'm still going to watch it anyway, because who knows? This might be a good movie. Oh well. Then again, I kind of hate seeing Superman being darker and edgier. That's another trope that I hate, but won't say anything about it. Yeah, so anyway, next question. Would you consider watching the new Godzilla movie? Yes, I'll watch it, even though I know 100% it'll probably suck. I'm sorry to sound cynical. It's just that when it comes to reboots, I don't have so much trust for them. I mean, look at the previous reboot of Godzilla. Admittedly, it was kind of bad. Actually, not kind of bad. It was pretty bad. My god, I'm sorry. I'm still hungover over the Man of Steel name. I'm gonna try to forget that. I'm gonna try my best to forget that. But anyway, the reboot was not good. It wasn't bad, like terrible bad, but it wasn't good. That's why I'm so afraid of reboots. I don't want to see Godzilla bad. I don't. But the way how I saw it, it looks like it's gonna be bad. Except they're just adding more action scenes. And don't even get me started with his rage. His freaking rage, or his roar, sounds so stupid. It's like a dying whale. Not even. It's like Nemo growing up and freaking getting chopped up by a sushi chef. I'm sorry. I saw the trailer today. It was garbage. Well, not garbage. Sorry, it was actually good. But the roar, I mean, sorry, the roar was pretty... What? Just what? And people actually liked it. It's like, what? I mean, if they would have just got the original roar and enhanced it, I would have been totally fine. In fact, I probably wouldn't even complain. But, damn, like, that roar, wow. If you like it, then by all means, but I personally don't like it. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. Will you start a guild or team for your subs in games? See, here's the thing. I can start a guild. I can start a team. But that doesn't mean 100% I'm gonna be, you know, into it. I mean, heck, I've been on a league in DC Universe Online and I haven't even talked to them at all. I don't even do anything in that league. I mean, granted, they do ask for my help sometimes, but I don't do anything. I mean, I treat teams and guilds like they're Facebook. I just only go there. I don't even have Facebook. I don't even use Facebook neither. That's kind of the whole point. I don't use teams or guilds. I can start one, but I can't guarantee I'm gonna use it. I mean, shit. I have a Tumblr, for God's sakes, and I don't even touch Tumblr for some reason. I have a Twitter, and I don't even use Twitter. In fact, the only time I use Twitter is so I can notify people who are following me on Twitter that I posted a video. That's it. That's basically what I use it for. So chances of me actually using a guild or a team are very, very low. But I'll probably try my best if I do consider making one. Anyway, hope that answers your question. Next question, did you read the manga Kingdom? No, I have not. And you know what? I am sorry. And what I'm going to do is, after I make this video, I'm going to go to Manga Here on my computer and read it. Because when you mentioned that, I went to my mobile on Manga Here, and I only read the first few pages until, for some reason, the website crashed. I didn't know what happened. I tried it again and it crashed again. So I guess you can say that I didn't even try searching another website. It's because I'm so dependent on Manga Here. This is where I actually read my manga, with the exception of Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece, because I can only go to Manga Panda for that. But yeah, I kind of have this trust with Manga Here. I mostly read my anime from there, or mostly read my manga from there. So yeah, if it's crashed, chances are I might not try to find it, but I will go and read it after I do this video. So probably once it renders, I'll just go read a few chapters, and then I will personally message you back and tell you how it is. Alright? Let's go with that. If not, do you like German Shepherd dogs? I like them when they're attacking people. I like them when they're protecting me. But when they're attacking me, let's just say I'm not gonna be pretty by the end of that fight. Hell fucking no. Oh god. I hope that answers your question. If you need help on your comics with the story, feel free to ask me. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm more than willing. If I need help, then I'll let you know. I really appreciate it. For those of you that do not know, I am working on a story that I plan on making it into a comic. I've already made the first script for the first issue. I'm going on the second script. I already have an arc going. I know. I already have an arc. I know how's it going to go. It's just that I just got to put it on paper. I already completed the script for the first issue. I'm doing the second one. Once I probably finish that arc, I'll reread it, see what's missing, and then probably send it out to some of my friends to see how it is, or, you know, if they actually like it or whatnot. So yeah, I can't tell you any details about my story due to the fear of somebody taking my idea. So let's just leave it at that. What video game on your channel do you mostly recommend? Out of every single video game that I ever recorded during my time here on YouTube, it has to be DC Universe Online. I think I have put more work, not more work, but more dedication to the series than any other video game series that I've ever posted on this channel. So most likely it's going to be DC Universe Online. On DCUO, do you think you will ever start a league for your subs? See, that's the thing. If I start a league, I don't know if I'm gonna use it, because I'm not on DCUO 100% of the time. I have work, I have college, and I have a story that I really, really am focused on, and I really want this to be a thing. So I don't have that much time. I can try to make a league, and I can try to be there, but even then, that in itself, the fact that I'm not dedicated to it, it's not gonna work. It's like when somebody tells me to make a social or sign up for a social website. For example, Facebook, Twitter, or Tumblr, or Instagram, or any of that. If I'm not dedicated to it, I'm not going to use it. The closest website that I am dedicated to, besides YouTube, is Tumblr. Because I actually go there just to see the funny posts that they make. But even then, it's not enough. I'm not that dedicated to Tumblr. That I have one, but I don't even use it. Or the account. I don't use the account. I don't reblog, I don't favorite, nothing. It's like whatever for me. But yeah, like, chances are, for a league, I highly doubt it's going to happen. But when I do consider it, I will try to be dedicated. Next question, and what do you see coming for future videos? What do I see coming? Well, that depends. What do you want to see coming? But anyway, I'm really planning on doing this type of video series, and it's kind of based on another video series from a different YouTuber that I personally watch a lot. His name goes by the name of Archengeia. He is the type of person that is like a reviewer slash critique and slash... Actually, no, I would say he's kind of like a reviewer and a critic in a way. It's actually kind of complicated, because the way how he does his reviews is not it's not like critiquing it, it's more like analyzing it. And I respect that. I really do. He analyzed the shit out of the Kingdom Hearts series. In fact, I learned more about the Kingdom Hearts series from him than any other people that I've watched. You know, if I'm confused over a storyline, especially Kingdom Hearts, because Kingdom Hearts is a very complex storyline, I searched for videos about how that, how that story got constructed. What's it about? Why is it so complex? And he basically broke it down far more better than anybody else, in my opinion, in my personal opinion. But anyway, he has this video series called Ruminations, and it's basically that. It analyzes the story, the characters, the complexity of the story, how complex the characters are, and their motives, and stuff like that. He basically legitimately analyzes the story or the game, because he mostly does games, and I think movies as well. I want to do that with comic books. Just recently, the Ravagers Volume 2 came out, and I wanted to buy it because I currently only have Volume 1. I want to buy Volume 2. The reason why is because those two are the only ones that are left for the Ravagers series. Because the Ravagers ended right after issue, let me see. Let's just say the Ravagers didn't last long. That's what I'm going to say. It didn't last long. But it was one of my favorite series. When it got canceled, I was pretty sad. And when I heard about Volume 2, I wanted to buy the book, read both Part 1 and Part 2, or Volume 1 and Volume 2, and do an analysis video on it. Because I personally like it, and I want to talk about it. Analyze the story, the characters, what's going to happen to them, and all that other stuff. Because the way how the Ravagers ended, they left a lot of questions. And I really, really want, to know that. But I guess you can say that it's because of my love for this series, I just want to make a rumination about it. I don't want to call it a rumination because I think he's the one that made up the word. What I will do, though, is that later on, probably next week or something, whenever I feel like doing the actual video, I'm gonna go up to him personally, well, not personally, but message him and say if I can use the name. If he said yeah, then obviously you're gonna see it, Ruminations, the Ravagers, or something like that. If not, then I'll probably just think of another name. But anyway, that's basically what I wanted to do. I was also gonna do an analysis video on Supernatural, the show, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I feel like I should try doing the Ravagers or these comic books first to see how that goes and see the flow and everything before I branch out into different. different sources of media. Not to mention, I also have walkthroughs. I also have manga, well, not manga, anime recommendations. I was thinking of doing a comic book recommendation, but the thing is, I don't have that much access to comic books, so I can't do that. Comic book talk has been on a hiatus. I want to bring it back, but I'll see what I can do about that one. But yeah, I guess what you're going to see in the future is the start of another series called Ruminations, and I don't want to use that name yet because I don't know if I can use it, but expect to see analysis videos on certain comic book series later on in the future. Also, I might do Teen Titans after it ends, because I feel like I really should analyze it, and once it ends, which thank God, I get to see what's currently happening and what might happen in the future between these characters. Primarily, the ones that I want to know the most is Raven, Beast Boy, Kid Flash, Solus, and Cassie. I really don't give a shit about. I don't give a shit that much about Tim Drake because I think it's just, I don't like this Tim Drake. I like the other one. This Tim Drake, he's more of an asshole, in my opinion. But anyway, expect to see that in the future. Hope that answers your question. Next question. What do you think is the most overrated character? Oh, overpowered character in both comics and anime. Okay, anime. Because there are some crazy characters out there. There are some really crazy characters out there. Shit. I have to say every main character at the end of the story. Let's be honest. They're overpowered as shit by the end of the story. Let's be honest. At the end of the story is when they have their powers to the max. This is where they beat everybody. So pretty much them. As for comics, it has to be the ones that are gods. Like freaking Superman. Anybody from the Superman family that is genetically Kryptonian, or Kryptonians themselves. Darkseid, freaking who else? Thor in a way is overpowered, but I think sometimes they try to debuff him. You know, just lower down his power for the sake of, you know, the story or something like that. Hulk is also another very overpowered character. Wolverine is also another overpowered character. Freaking Charles Xavier and what's his name, Magneto, are also overpowered, depending on the writer. Because I've seen some really, really garbage versions of them, and some really, really overpowered versions of them. And Thanos. Yes, Thanos. Let's not talk about him. But anyway, I guess those are the most overpowered characters, in my opinion. Or overpowered character, you only mentioned one, so I guess I gotta pick. Okay, shit. Superman and Hulk from comics. Anime, Goku. I just throw that right out of the limb. Goku, Superman, and Hulk. There you go. Next question. Who do you think would win in a fight? Deadpool and Batman versus Captain America and Deathstroke. I have to say Deadpool has a huge advantage because I think doesn't he have a healing factor? He does, right? Yeah, he does. Not to mention, it's hard to kill this guy. You shoot him and he'll think it tickles. Come on. Deathstroke, you break his arm, you literally break his arm. That arm is not growing back. Captain America, you chop his head off. His head is not growing back. Batman, fuck Batman. He's already the Deus Ex Machina of DC, so fuck that. I have to say, Deadpool, that's it. It's like, then again. Who knows? Because you're just saying a fight. This isn't a death match, right? This is just a regular average fight. It would be interesting to see Deadpool versus Deathstroke. It will be really, really interesting, though. But, given the fact that Batman and Deathstroke know each other from the same universe, it's obvious they're going to fight each other. Same thing as Deadpool and Captain America. So, I would have to say Deadpool and Batman would still probably win because Batman can beat Deathstroke, and he has done it before, plenty of times. As for Deadpool, did I say Batman and Deathstroke? Yeah, I did. As for Deadpool and Captain America, that one's actually hard. Well, for me it's hard. Probably somebody else is obvious, but I'm gonna have to say Deadpool and Batman, sorry. Has to be that one, because by the time Batman beats Deathstroke, it's just Captain America against both of them, so yeah. Now, if this was a deathmatch, same people. What comic book character origin is your favorite? Superman. My God, the idea that you came from another planet, you're the last known survivor of a race, you're at Earth trying to find who you are and your place among, you know, this mysterious planet, because obviously it's mysterious to you. You just arrived to this planet when you were a little kid. You have no idea. Not to mention, you don't have no idea what your parents are, but I don't know, it's just, I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. His origin's freaking awesome. I'm sorry if it's not like something amazing or a character that is so badass or whatnot, but I don't know. You did say my favorite, so you can't say anything. I have to say Superman, man. I have to. Who would you rather learn martial arts from, Batman or Iron Fist? Good one. Batman or Iron Fist? I have to say Iron Fist, because if you think about it, to get that buff and to get that skilled in fighting doesn't take that much hardships than what Batman does. Then again, the reason why I would probably pick Batman is because he has more skill setups than Iron Fist. Iron Fist, in a way, is mostly through his chi, I believe, right? Was it him? I know there's a character that focuses his power through chi, and I think Iron Fist is one of those characters. As for Batman, it's just naturally born strength. This is his just muscle or strength coming from himself. Not his chi, just from himself. If I can break a wall with just my fist, and okay, hold on. Worse analogy. If I train Batman, or if Batman trains me, and after the training, I punch a wall, not even in a fit of anger or anything, I punch a wall just regularly, and I break it. As for Iron Fist, if Iron Fist trains me, and I need my chi to break a wall, who do you think you would prefer to learn martial arts? This is martial arts, by the way, learning how to fight. Batman has a huge list of fighting styles. In fact, I probably think he learned all the fighting styles, I would argue. Given the fact of how overpowered and how freaking overused he freaking is, I'll tell you that. But, and overrated, let's not get started with that. But, yeah, given that, he probably learned every martial arts style. As for Iron Fist, I don't know. This is hard. This is really hard. I still say Iron Fist. You know why? Because I actually like the idea of using your chi. I like that. So yeah, I have to say Iron Fist. Even though I'll probably get my ass whipped by somebody who got trained by Batman. Fuck you, Dick Grayson. Fuck you. But anyway, why do you think people like to put Batman on such a high pedestal and say he's unbeatable? Well, mostly is due to fanboyism, or I wouldn't say fanboyism, I would say fantardism. There's a difference there. As well, he is the only person that is human. Think about it. You're in a team full of superpowered heroes. People who have abilities that you obviously don't. The only thing you have is your brain, your physical strength, and that's it. These people have superhuman strength, superhuman powers, abilities, and shit. So, if you're put in a team of that, you have to be, in a way, the same playing field as them. When you battle somebody, you have to make sure, or the writer, in a way, has to make sure that this person isn't wasteful, that he is there for a reason. He is part of the team for a reason. So, like I mentioned, maybe it's mostly due to the fact that he is, you know, a human. The fact that he trained himself to become that way also is another reason why a lot of people like him. Also, I can argue that it mostly has to do with his storytelling, because, let's be honest, Batman has a huge, interesting gallery of villains, while others isn't that much interesting. In fact, I would argue they're boring. Yeah, their rogue gallery is kind of boring. Superman, yeah, his rogue gallery, it's kind of boring. He does have some interesting people. It's just that, in most cases, they're kind of boring. As for Batman, almost all of them are interesting. Almost all of them. So I guess that has something to do with it as well. Not to mention his stories is darker and edgier. Apparently a lot of people love darker and edgier. Actually, that's the whole point of the New 52, is to praise darker and edgier stuff. So I guess you can say that. Hope that answers your question. Oh wait, you got one more. Would you rather fight Darkseid or Thanos? You know, they both are gonna kill me. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. All they both have to do is flick a finger at me, and my head will come off, probably. I don't even know. But I'll die. I'll fucking die. Thanos likes to torture people. As for Darkseid, he just likes to rule them. I don't even know what's worse, because they're both torture. They love torturing people. Because Darkseid would probably have you as a slave, while Thanos just likes torturing you for the sake of torturing you, so... Oh god. Oh god. I still say Darkseid because I do want to knock some sense into him, even though I'll probably break my hand the moment my fist comes into contact with his head. But fuck it. It's not every day you can say I punch Darkseid. I almost said Deathstroke. I'm serious. It's not every day you can walk up to your friend and say, "You know what I did? I just went to Darkseid and punch him in the face. And I'm still alive to tell the tale." I'm sorry, but yeah. Did somebody just send a Skype thing? Huh, that's weird. Anyway. Yeah, that's really weird. Anyway, next question, and I hope that answers your questions. Next question, what power would you want? I actually answered this, so I'm not gonna repeat myself again. Would you actually, I answered that twice. So I'm not going to answer that again. Would you record with somebody else in your commentaries, not just a sub, or maybe someone you know? But maybe someone you know. Okay. He's basically asking me if I would, when I do my commentaries, would I bring somebody up, you know, just to sit here and talk with me with whatever topic is at hand. I would love to do that. In fact, that was originally what Comic Book Talk was supposed to be. Because I had this friend who was a huge Marvel fan. And originally, I wanted to do a series where somebody asks a question about comics, you know, relating to who was your favorite this, what is your favorite that, blah, 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 you know, stuff like that. And I would probably represent the DC side while he represents Marvel. Now, when I came to him with the idea, he said he didn't want to. I thought he was camera shy because I told him that we didn't need to, you know, show our faces. It's just our voices. They're only going to hear us through our mics, and that's it. They're not going to know what we look like. They don't even know what I look like. But he still said no. But I love the idea so much, or the series so much, that I decided to do it myself, and therefore Comic Book Talk was born. Another thing I wanted to do was a podcast. I'm still waiting for these other people to, you know, buy their equipment so they can start theirs, because I don't want to start mine. I don't know how to start. Well, I actually do. I just don't feel like being the host or any of that. So, yeah, hosting is not my thing. But I have considered bringing people, you know, to do videos with me. In fact, earlier, well, not earlier, at the very beginning of this channel, I used to have this series with a friend of mine from Xbox. We used to play Gears of War, and basically I just record only because of his reactions. And I don't even tell him when I record, which makes the whole point of the recording even more sweeter, in my opinion. But yeah, I used to do that. Now, I don't know what happened, but it doesn't really matter. But yes, I have considered it before to bring people to my channel and, you know, just sit down, chat with me with whatever. But it doesn't normally happen. As for a sub, I don't know. I really don't know. It depends. It really depends. If I have the time, if that person has the time, and if what are we gonna talk about, you know, stuff like that. But anyway, next question: will you do a DCUO walkthrough with other mentors? See, here's the problem. I have two DCUO walkthroughs, from the hero side and from the villain side. Now, each side is dramatically different. The villain side has their own very unique missions. In fact, every single mission is unique compared to the hero one in their own way. Because basically, for example, if I have a mission going to the Teen Titans, or involving the Teen Titans, it's basically me against whoever the enemy of the Teen Titans are. As for the villain side, it's basically me against the Teen Titans, helping the villain. You see what I mean? That's the only big difference. But either way, you're still doing something that involves the Teen Titans. So it's kind of the same. As for mentors, there is no difference. The only difference you have is the unique missions that you're going to get with them. And even then, you can get them later on as you get more, you know, more armor and stuff. I think I posted a walkthrough part showing the unique mission that you get if you have Wonder Woman as your mentor, and the unique mission you get when you have Batman as your mentor. It's basically just helping their mentor against their nemesis, which is the villain's mentors, you know? If I do a Wonder Woman mission, it's basically Wonder Woman against Circe. Batman against the Joker, Superman against Lex Luthor, you know? It's like that. So the fact that I make a character with a different mentor doesn't matter. I'm still gonna get the same missions. Well, I wouldn't say the same missions because the beginning missions are different. Because I remember when you have Batman as your mentor, you have the Scarecrow mission, you have the Bane mission, and I think you have other missions as well. But you can still get those missions if you do the duos, if you do the first player ones, if you do the alerts and all that other stuff. So it's kind of a waste of time. That's why I won't do it. In fact, if let's say I finish the hero one, the only time I'm ever going to consider doing another walkthrough is if I do it for the PS4 version or maybe the PC version. But right now, I'm just primarily focusing on just those two. And doing another one with a different mentor is kind of a waste of time if it's just going to be the same missions all over again. I might as well just do raids or alerts just so I can get Marks of Triumphs and stuff. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Are you excited to the new animated Justice League? Yes, I'm actually glad they use the Young Justice engine. The animation look, yeah. That's the correct term. I'm glad they use that, and I'm glad that they're still using it. Then again, it brings up the question that why did they cancel Young Justice in the first place? Seriously. Seriously, why did you cancel that in the first place if you're just going to use the same engine for your other movies? Maybe the movies are making more money than Young Justice. Okay, but at least... You know what, I'm not even going to go with this freaking debate. But anyway, I'm glad that they use it. In fact, I recently watched Justice League War. Fairly awesome. Not even fairly awesome. Pretty damn good movie. It was a pretty damn good movie. But anyway, next and last question. Do you play do you like Dragon Ball Z? Yes, I do. If you do, will you do a playthrough of it? See, here's the problem. Doing a playthrough of Dragon Ball Z just one time, basically, how do I say this? Basically, takes away the whole point of doing walkthroughs of other Dragon Ball Z games. You get what I mean? Let's say if I start doing a walkthrough of Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1 through 3. 1, 2, and 3. Basically, I don't need to play Tenkaichi. I don't need to play Tenkaichi 2 or 3. I don't have to play Burst Limit. I don't have to play any other Dragon Ball Z that came after Budokai. Because you guys already know the story of it. I just showed you the whole story of Dragon Ball Z. And by doing another playthrough of, you know, let's say Tenkaichi, I'm basically repeating the same story. That's why I have yet to this day done a playthrough of Dragon Ball Z. Now I have Dragon Ball Z games, but I don't want to do a playthrough because I think it's a complete waste of time. It really is. The only time you're probably gonna see it is maybe when I just want to do it anyway, or I haven't had enough anime game related games in here. Maybe, but I don't see it as a great importance to, you know, waste my time on. I don't. I'm sorry if you're anticipating to see that. It's just that, for me personally, I see it as a waste of time. Alright, next question, or... This is actually the final question, because he put all of these questions into one, you know, comment, but that's okay. Also, will you see the upcoming movie of Dragon Ball Z? That depends. If it's the animated one, yes. If it's the live-action one, no. They already ruined it with Dragon Ball Evolution. Actually... Haven't they learned their lesson? Anime movies cannot be live action. It cannot be. Or at least shonen movies cannot be live action. It cannot. It may work well for Death Note, but that's because Death Note is not shonen. It's not so action-packed. It's a mystery crime filler movie. And it makes sense, too. As for Dragon Ball Z, no. Just no. No, please, God, no. But anyway, the animation, or the animated movie, I'm gonna watch it. I'm kind of excited, too, to see it. Though I am kind of angry a little bit how they're still continuing with the series, because, let's be honest, you kind of stretched this for a fairly long time. I mean, you might as well just give it up already. Unless you want to do a full reboot, you might as well give it up, right? But then again, I can't complain because I read comics, right? They've been going on for, like, what, 70-something years until they decided to reboot the whole thing? And I'm still reading those too? So I can't start complaining about that. But anyway, yeah. That's pretty much it of what I got to say. Hope that answers your question. Anyway, thank you guys for sending in your questions. God damn, I've only talked for 51 minutes. Holy damn. Holy balls. My God. Never thought I would last this long. I guess that's what happens. And it's funny because if you guys actually made it to this far, I've mentioned before that I'm going to do analytical videos about comic book series. Maybe the past ones, but the first one that I really want to do is the Ravengers, because that's the one that I'm primarily focused on. Those analytical, or not, yeah, those analyzed videos might last for like an hour. So yeah, because there's a lot of stuff to say about the Ravagers alone. Even though it was a short series, there's a lot of stuff to say. I gotta explain the plot. I gotta explain each character that are involved. I gotta explain the stuff that I like, the dislike, you know, all that other stuff, because I'm doing I'm analyzing the whole series, right? So it's probably gonna take a very long time. So you might see videos like this in the future. I hope this doesn't put a strain on anything, but yeah, I'm just warning you now if you actually make it this far. But yeah, all the links that I've mentioned during this video will be in the description below. For example, the tropes that I've mentioned, tvtropes.org itself. I'm going to also link to you Archengeia, because I feel like he deserves a lot more attention than he already does. I really do think he puts a lot of work into what he's saying. Not video so much, but to what he's saying and stuff. I love the fact that he's so analytical towards certain stuff. So yeah, check his videos out, especially his Kingdom Hearts videos. For anybody who's a fan of Kingdom Hearts, check those out. I think he also did Mass Effect 2, so check those out as well. But anyway, yeah, thank you guys for sending in your questions. My name is Bizkit. See you guys later. Peace out.